We're gonna move over to women's golf, man, because me and Nate do appreciate women's golf, and I have friends on the LPGA as well as the Epson Tour. So first, y'all, shout out to the Epson Tour. My homegirl, Maddie McCary, who is a former guest on Golf and Gospel, wins in Orlando, shooting 3 under on day 4 or day 3. They do 3 days, shooting 11 under in his total. Day 2, she played fantastic, shot 8 under, and she was bogey free the whole weekend, getting her first victory in professional golf. So shout out to my homie Maddie McCary. Go watch that episode of Golf and Gospel. I played horrible, but she played good, and you can see where Maddie's heart lies. Maddie, again, shout out to you for winning in Orlando. Next, obviously the LPGA is still currently going on right now. Thus far from the golf we have seen, I've been giving this LPGA golfer a hard time, which is Nelly Korda. Me saying I need to see how she's going to do in 72 before I give her flowers because she got her victory in 54. So far from some of the golf you've seen from Nelly, how have you been accessing her so far this year or this tournament?
Dude, I mean, throughout the year, she's been strokes gained #1, best scoring average on LPGA Tour.
Yeah.
You know, they haven't taken into account this tournament yet, but last I saw, she was second.
So you're right. But right now she's back only 1 stroke.
Get out of town.
And HJ Kim.
Hyoju Kim?
Yeah, she was freaking up 7 strokes. No, but at the end of the day, she was up 5 strokes.
She was up 5.
Yeah.
Yes, going into today.
Nelly comes back and wins this. Yeah, you shut me up, Nelly. You definitely did.
Dude, Nelly is she was balling this week. I feel like Hyoju Kim actually caught lightning in a bottle because she was making long putts Friday and Saturday.
She was, and she was the winner of the Ford Championship last year.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But she was making long putts Friday, and Hyoju Kim was amazing with her irons. This whole week.
Yeah.
So that was just. And she's always been like down the middle with her driver too, but man, if Nelly wins, bro,
that's gonna be crazy. Nelly currently right now as we're speaking, obviously this podcast is gonna come out and we're gonna know who won already. But currently as we're speaking, Nelly is 5 under right now. Freaking Minji Lee's 5 under right now, and Mai Yamashita is 5 under right now. The only thing is Nelly is 1 stroke back from
through 11.
Yes. So my take on Nelly, bro, is. I thought the first 2 days that I watched her, I thought iron play and wedge play looked amazing, but putter was still a little bit shaky. Not to the point where it's like, dang, she is, +1. Because I think last year it was a combination of putter and wedges. Her iron and wedges looked super good. She just kept getting on the green and maybe just, regular 2-putt, get out of there. But now I think, oh, man, are we seeing 2024 Nelly? I mean, it's only been 2 tournaments, which the first one I don't want to count at all. But, man, if Nelly wins this one, I'm trying to tell y'all, man, people listen to Golf and Gospel podcast and they look to prove us wrong. Brooks went to prove us wrong. He did last week, and Nelly's looking to prove us wrong, or at least me. Nate didn't give Nelly a hard time like I did, but I just said I didn't like the overhyping of the 54-hole victory she had in Florida because she was winning. My take. But right now, man, if HJ Kim doesn't lock in on the green, this will be an incredible comeback, and we're probably going to see this everywhere if Nelly ends up winning. But in my take, the person who's playing way better than Nelly and playing better than any golfer in the world right now is freaking Hannah Green, bro. Hannah Green just got her 3rd win in a row. And it's crazy to say this because this is the same female tour pro. They got 51st at the CME Tour last year. And now she's just playing flat out incredible. I mean,
that's crazy.
She's won the LPGA and the Asian swing, and she's won 2 on let. And I'm very disappointed because I was hoping she was going to play in the Ford. She's not going to be able to play in the Ford because obviously that transition from.
No.
I want to see her playing, but it's not being talked about enough. Now, granted, maybe because she's not winning in America, it's not going to be as advertised on the LPGA. But I think Hannah Green right now, as I'm speaking, is the best golfer currently right now. Not like overall, like Gino's still number 1. Don't get me wrong. But like, man, if we had to analyze the last month of women's golf, I would say, the best golfer right now is Hannah Green, without question. So, I mean, shout out to her, man, getting 3 wins in a row. And someone else I definitely want to shout out to before we get to our predictions of the Ford Championship is Lee Six. And specifically why I want to shout her out is because I got to play in the pro-am with her at the Ford Championship. She's an amazing young lady, but more so because she lost her card and she had to go play on the Epson Tour. or she got partial status, excuse me. And I remember as I played her on Golf and Gospel, or I did a scramble with her, she talked about like, man, I've been changing my swing, so I haven't really figured it out yet. And she was telling me how she was fighting a two-way miss. And it's crazy. I got this insight. I mean, it's probably known now, but like she was telling me this like right next to her, which was really cool. She was fighting a two-way miss, and I think that unfortunately translating throughout the entirety of PGA season, where she ended up dropping down to the Epson Tour. She won on the Epson Tour last week, then flew out here, played in the Monday qualifier, made the cut, and now she's playing this weekend at the Founders Cup, man. So shout out to Lee Six, man. I mean, that's just crazy to just go through all that. And they said when she flew from Florida, and there is our special guest right on time as we're actually talking about women's golf.
Yo,
the homie Annabelle Pancake Webb, man. So before we get into our forward predictions, we're gonna jump down. We're gonna get Annabelle started right now, man. So for a lot of you guys who don't know Annabelle, she's a two-time All ACC player out of Clemson. She's a winner on the NXXT this year as well, too, right, Annabelle? I believe you won early in the season. Absolutely. And she's also the winner of the first ever Content Creator Showdown on the Epson Tour. Her and the homie, Tali Taloy, beating a few of us. Yeah. And it's crazy because I like threw the event and me and Haley got last. But Annabelle was in my group, and I'm just like, first off, Nate, you talk about hitting bombs. I drove her once. She was disappointed I drove her once. But everything else, I'm like, I'm not lighting the candle to Annabelle at all. And then she was throwing darts. Putter got hot, and I think like going in the whole nine, the final stretch, it's just like, well, they can do no wrong here. So you just kind of knew they were winning after they birdied. I think either it was either 16 or 17, man. So her and Tali got hot. But Annabelle, man, first off, thank you for taking the time to come on Golf and Gospel Podcast. First, Annabelle, this is my boy Nate Wong. Played college golf at Nebraska. Yep.
Nice. Hi. Nice to meet you.
Also loves Jesus as well, man. So we all got a lot in common here, man. But absolutely, man. I just want to start off asking a few questions. So, like I said, you already picked up your first win at the NXXT. I think you're playing phenomenal. I kind of texted you earlier in the day saying, like, man, you're picking up where you left off last year, getting the T5, the Tour Championship. So far, you're 3 cuts made, one with a solo second or a T2, I believe.
Yeah, T2. Yep, I think so.
T2. Yep. And then did you officially finish in the top 25 this week? I saw Maddie just won, so I'm super happy about that.
Yes, I know. I'm so happy for her. I think I ended up getting tied 23rd. So
okay, still top 25, and then you got T15 the week before. So you're playing incredible golf right now. What would you say is the difference between your golf last year as opposed to some of the things you did at the end of the season carrying into this year?
Well, first, thank you for having me. I'm so thankful to be here. But I mean, the end of the year was just a big confidence booster for me, just knowing that I could play with the best. I mean, I've always kind of known that, but it just never really happened during the season last year. And I had a lot going on. My husband and I were getting married and trying to figure out where we were going to live. So there was just a lot going on there. But I think at the end, I was able to find something in my swing that really clicked, and my putting as well. And that's been my main focus going into this coming year is I want to be one of the best putters out there because just about anybody can hit it. Everyone can pretty much hit it far and hit it close, but it's the people who can make those 10, 15, 20 footers that makes all the difference. Yeah.
If you guys go watch the Content Creator Showdown, she showed evidence of making those 10 to 15 foot putters, man. Have you always been left hand low?
I have not. I actually started in college. I don't know. One of my good teammates in college, Melena Barrientos, she is one of the best putters I had ever seen, and she always did left hand low, and so I just kind of copied her with it, and I've stuck with it. Honestly, it's really nice because it just gets rid of the like, not yips, but the yip feeling. So it gives me a little bit more confidence with that.
I switched to claw grip.
Dude, that's funny because I switched my grip in college, and I don't know, probably half of my teammates switched their grips in college. So I'm left hand low, but I'm left handed though. So
that's a little different.
Oh, okay.
So it's a little different. Yeah. So that doesn't really count.
Big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, Annabelle, I also want to ask you this too. You talked about obviously having some improvements in regards to your swing. I saw on day one you were 10 to 18 green regulation, but day two you improved dramatically. You're 15 to 18 green regulation. What would you say that improvement came in regards to your iron and wedge play?
Yeah, my irons are one of my biggest strengths is just the compression on the ball that I have, and my consistency with that. But yeah, day one, I don't know. It was just I wasn't hitting them solid. And when I'm hitting it solid, it makes all the difference because
I
the
know.
wind doesn't have the
I know.
effect. Yeah. Yeah. So when it's solid, the wind isn't affecting it. It just does not have near as much spin and movement. So um today and yesterday I was able to just find some compression again and get it on the center of the club face, and that just made all the difference.
That's awesome, man. Like I said, I love rooting you guys on. I need to stop you ladies on because one of my Bruce Quickle, who's a great friend, catches Virginia Kim. His wife watches our podcast all the time, and she was
Okay.
like, "You gotta stop saying you guys." So I'm like trying to be cognizant of make sure I'm saying you ladies
You
and stuff like that. Yeah,
ladies. Yeah.
absolutely.
I mean, I
I'll do
say
once
guys all the time.
all
Yeah,
the time,
even
kind
if
of just like a
it's
I do
generic
yeah,
term.
too.
Yeah,
yeah, just
but
like a
yeah, I want the
yeah.
respect. I want the respect it. I'm gonna ask one more question, and I know Nate obviously has some questions as well. So obviously you ladies are about to go on this West Coast run. What are some things strategically you do from your golf game, East versus West Coast type golf?
Ooh, that's a good question. I wouldn't say I really changed anything. I mean, I'm always trying to just beat the golf course,
For sure.
and I'm trying to think the courses that we play. I mean, short game wise, things might change in like Arizona because the lies can be
Yeah.
really tight around the green, so I can be
Yeah.
more creative with like using a 7 wood and
Hmm.
putting with that. I
Yeah.
did that a lot in Atlantic Beach and
Yes.
Jacksonville,
Yes. Haley was
because
teaching me that last year.
I hear
it's
Florida's got
so
tight
effective.
lies. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
kept trying to
it's
chip
such an
like an idiot.
effective shot. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. But the grain, it's tough. Like that's
Yeah.
what makes chipping so hard is that leading edge can dig and it's hard to be
Hmm.
Yeah.
consistent. But if you can use a wood, it's like chipping but putting combined, and
Yeah.
you're using a wood. But it works.
Yeah,
See,
and
I would
it's
never
funny
do
because
that.
Nate's a big like, Nate has his whole take on this, but Nate mentioned that because we were breaking down the Phoenix Open. We were talking about that lie and how it's so pressed, and I think that's what kind of affected a lot of the golfers' short game because they kept trying to chip
You like just
against
duffed a
like
bunch of chips.
they was just
Yeah.
duffing chips, and they
Hmm.
probably should have. And maybe it's a guy's pride. They're like, well, no, I can chip this. It's like just take that 7 wood and just go ahead and dink it up there and figure it
Yeah,
out
it's
from there, man.
honestly more impressive in my opinion because
It
no
is.
one does it.
It
Absolutely,
is.
man. Yeah, Nate. Well, what questions do you have for Annabelle?
I was just I was thinking like in college we had and in high school I never won it in college, but we'd have chipping contests and be like, all right, we're gonna go through the whole bag and you have to
Oh my
use like
God.
every club in your bag and we're just gonna like throw a shot out and then you got to use that club. And I won that once in high school and I was like, I'm the best short game artist ever, and I never won again. Um,
That's
oh,
awesome.
but
That's hilarious.
I just first off, thanks for being on. But can you talk about kind of your career? And so you were at Clemson, and is this your second year on the Epson tour?
Yes. Yep. Year two.
Yeah. So like, how did year one go? How was the transition from college to the Epson tour? And then what's kind of the outlook going into this year?
Yeah. I mean, the transition is very drastic. It's bigger than what I was expecting, just because you're going from a completely controlled environment in college. Your coach is scheduling everything for you, they're paying for everything pretty much. And you kind of just show up, practice is made for you. You get on the bus, you get on the flight, they take you where you're supposed to go, and you just know that everything's set. Where now I am doing that all myself. So that was kind of a big transition is like figuring out the scheduling of events and where I'm going to stay, and my mom was able to help me a lot with that.
Shout out to
But
my dog
also
Libby.
yeah, yes, Libby, we love her. She still helps me out now, like she's great. But and also the level of competition. I mean, obviously when you go from high school to college, you realize everyone in college is the best player from their high school, like you're all good. And then when you go from college to professional, it's like a whole nother level. Like everybody could play good at any moment. It's just a matter of who can do it the most consistently, the most often, and put themselves in the um, position to be in the final group. Like to have the chance to win is such a fun feeling. Like I don't, you don't get it very much in golf. So when you do, you got to take advantage of it. And even if you don't win, you just got to learn from it and take it to the next time so that you can be ready the next time that you're in that position. Um, but yeah, it's been super fun just to be a part of Epson Tour. I mean, it's such an amazing tour. All the girls are so friendly. The staff's great. They truly want to get you to the next level in the LPGA. And so I'm really excited for this year.
Yeah, and I second that. I mean, Allie's awesome, Matt's awesome, Isaiah's awesome. Hunter, who's one of the new camera guys, he's awesome, man. I do enjoy the staff at the Epson Tour as well, and I think you ladies are uberly talented, man. I wish there was an opportunity to watch you guys televised. Obviously, that's not the case, but like I said, I just have a lot of you guys' favorite. I'm just sitting there refreshing, just trying to see the leaderboard move because you guys are so talented. But Nate, continue too if you got another question for.
No, I was just gonna say, like, so how does it work when you transition? Are you like trying to find sponsors, and then how does the sponsorship work? Like, are you like, oh, I can't compress your freaking irons, so I'm not gonna work with you, or yeah?
I would say every person's different in this. I am not necessarily searching for sponsors. The only sponsorships I really have are with clubs. I'm with Titleist, and then clothing. I've not contractually, but I'm working with FootJoy. So those are really the main things. But when it comes to like being paid, I don't really have much of that. Um, but I mean, some girls are more into that. They're really into social media and they get a lot of sponsorships through that. I'm kind of just dipping my foot into that. So I'm like, I wouldn't say I have a lot of experience with doing that, but I know some girls really get a lot of good sponsorships through
Like
that.
Savannah Carlson, she's very,
Oh my word.
very good at social media. Yeah, she does. She's probably one of the meccas on tour that does really good in social media.
Yes,
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
know. I know the homie
She has
Sarah
the
White's.
personality for it too.
She does. I know the homie Sarah White's trying to get better at it as well. She's starting to do a lot of
hmm
stuff. My dog
Yeah.
Nicole LaRuppe, she's trying to get better at it and stuff. I think Nicole actually kind of snagged a few this off season. What is it?
Nice. Yeah.
I forgot what clothing brand it was, but yeah, I seen her get a couple.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I've seen
Yeah,
some girls wearing it. Yep.
yes, absolutely. I want to ask this question, Nate. Now let it get back to you, man. So I'm going to start this rumor with the Carlisle Classic. I'm going to say that the Carlisle Classic is a major for the Epson Tour. Biggest purse on tour. Not everyone can get into the field. Obviously, I believe it's maybe 2 tournaments away. What does your preparation look like going into a tournament with the magnitude that the Carlisle Classic has, which again is going to be the Epson Tour major?
Yeah. I well, it's weird that we have a month off until
Yeah,
then. It's a
right.
very interesting. You play 3 events and then you have like a month break. So
Mm-hmm.
from now until then, I'm actually going to keep playing. I have some pro-ams. I'll play in a Monday qualifier and then my US Open qualifier. So I'm going to try and stay competitive because I
Yeah.
feel like my game feels
Good
really
luck.
good right now. Thank you. So I think that's so key when you're playing well as too, is just to like keep the momentum going. Even if you're not in competition, staying competitive so you're like still feeling that same feeling that you're in a tournament. So I'll do some of that, but honestly, my mindset doesn't really change towards those events. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
like I
good.
said earlier, I'm always just trying to beat the golf course. Like something my dad and I talk about, if you just live under par, if you beat each 9 by 1 at least, you're probably going to make almost every single cut and you're probably going to get
Probably.
some pretty good placements, and that's bare minimum. If you just beat the course every single day and you shoot 3 under or 4 under if it's a 4-day event, you're going to do pretty well. And on the weeks where you get hot, even better. Like then you'll finish higher.
Yeah.
So that's always going to be my mindset, I would
Yeah,
say,
that's good.
because it works pretty well most
That's
of the
awesome.
time.
Yeah, I'm just trying to overhype the Carlisle Classic because
It's a good one though.
it
Yeah.
is
It's
a
the
good one,
major.
and
Yeah.
it's a major for
Yeah.
the Epson Tour. So Allie or
Yeah.
Matt, if y'all hear this, that's the type of pressure I'm putting on the Carlisle Classic, absolutely. But no, the one thing you said too is just obviously I know you ladies do like these strings of like 3 tournaments on the Southeast, and then you go to the West, and you go to the Midwest. You got this month long break. It's kind of what Bryson DeChambeau said with regards to live golf. Like because Liv kind of has a similar structure to Epson Tour, and that's why for his YouTube channel he'll go and say like, all right, I'm gonna see if I can break this course record, because he wants to stay in a competitive mindset. Like, I have to do something so I don't. And Bryson just won back-to-back tournaments this week in golf, so I think they're about to go on another break. So I know he's going to continue to try to stay competitive. But I'm happy you said that, because I was always curious, like, man, what do you ladies do on this break? I know some ladies go and do some things for Backswing Golf events. Shout out to Mackenzie Ling, good friend of mine as well. And then I like that take. I think I don't know when the Women's All Pro Tour starts. That's not going on now, right?
I honestly don't know.
Okay, no, because I know some ladies will
It
go play
might
in
be.
an NXT or a Women's All Pro Tour,
Yes.
just to like, I gotta continue to
Mhm.
stay in competition and stuff like that. But that's awesome. Yeah, you're gonna be doing a couple pro-ams and getting ready.
Yeah.
I hope you qualify for the USO, because I enjoyed watching it last year, because obviously Haley Cooper got the T7th. We were
Yes.
rooting on Sophia Hausman. I think Sophia got like 45th, which was awesome to see as
She made the
well.
cut.
So yeah.
Aaron
So
Hills.
I love rooting you ladies on. Nate, you have another question?
No, I mean, I liked what you said about the beat the course by one every nine, because you kind of just can chunk it up, and that's what Tiger would do. He would say something like, "Oh, just think about it like this: if you birdie half the par fives and you're even on the rest, you're gonna shoot, 8 under on every round, and that's or every tournament, and that's gonna be pretty good living on tour." You know what I'm saying? So I think, just thinking about it like that, just kind of chunking it up, makes it a lot more digestible and a lot less anxious. Speaking of which, so playing golf tournaments pretty nerve wracking. Like, do you have like a strategy for like how you like talk down the nerves? Or I guess it's a better question is, what's the most nervous you've been in a tournament, and what was the tournament?
That's such an easy answer. It was the Augusta National Women's Amateur. I was so and I
Oh
don't really
yeah.
get nervous for tournaments anymore. I mean, obviously I care. I'm excited, I would say. That one, my heart was pounding over that first shot, and I remember I think I started on 10, and I mean, it was like a toe shank isn't even possible, but that's what I did. I hit it straight off the toe, and it went straight right into this tree, and it came down, and I literally was like, "Oh my gosh." I hit it. It was so bad. I think I had like 240 in. It was a par 4, and it was
Yeah,
like, "Oh
downhill.
gosh, you're supposed to have a wedge." And I had a wood out of like the pine straw. Oh my gosh, yeah. So I've totally been there.
So I guess
But
in the same way, like, yeah, how'd you control those nerves? Like, what were some practices you had with that?
yeah, I'm starting to learn a lot more about the power of just breathing, just taking a deep breath, what that can do for you physically, mentally. So I mean that really helps. Also just in my head, I mean, some might say this isn't great, but I kind of make it not feel as important. Like, I know it's important and I care about it and it's obviously important to me, but I also put it in perspective and know like, okay, we're all gonna go to dinner tonight and the sun's gonna rise tomorrow and God is still on the throne. Like, my identity is
That
not
helps.
wrapped up in a number. And it helps so much because it obviously I care, I work hard. This is something that God has like, put in my life as it's very important. But I'm not gonna be on my deathbed thinking about this round of golf. I'm actually gonna forget it in like probably a week and no one's gonna
That's a
remember.
great
So
perspective.
just
Yeah.
like trying to change my mindset on golf and like tournament play, it makes me just relax and honestly enjoy it more because I put less pressure on myself and I'm just able to play the game that I love. So
That's
See,
such a great perspective.
big
Yeah.
time, and I love that. In that, you've heard me say this verse plenty of times when Paul's in prison, looking at Philippians 4:11. He says, "Not that I'm in need, but in whatever situation I'm in, I've learned to be content." And even
mhm.
like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, you know what? I just shot +2, got 50th, but like,
Yeah.
I'm content. I just won. I'm still at this content. It's crazy because, like you said, we're so competitive. We want to do well. But Paul said, like, I learned to be content. Like, he had to practice being content
Yeah.
in whatever situation this is. And I think that's very difficult for an athlete because our mindset is always on
Right.
strive to, I got to win, I got to win, I got to win. And we
Right.
should have a
Mhm.
mindset to win. But like, if we really put in our full effort and let's say we end up getting 15th, like I'm content. I'm very content with that. Not complacent, but we're content. So I
You're
love that
still
take you had.
competitive and you care, but you're
Yeah.
not. It's not life and death on what you
Yeah.
shoot, how you play. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah,
it's
I
kind
don't think
of
there's
go ahead.
anything
Go ahead, Nate. Yeah.
wrong. I was gonna say there's not anything wrong with that because I feel like for me, whenever I prepped, and granted, I wasn't that great. Wasn't that high of an achiever, but it was like what we always try to do is we always try to make our like practices feel like a tournament. So it's like you have to do this many shots in a row. So then the second and last shot, you're like nervous, and then you can kind of recreate the nerves. But then in a tournament, we just try to make it feel as much like practice as you can. And I think I have zero hate. I don't think anything less of that because you're just trying to turn it into like I could do this. And the nerves are the things that are saying you can't do it. So how do you switch that off? And yeah, I think that's a great strategy. What were you going to say, Jeremy?
No, I was just going to say, Annabelle, don't let Nate fool you. I mean, he didn't have like the success he wanted in golf, but Nate's a very good golfer. He always shakes his head like he is a very good golfer. Nate be like, man, I just shot 74 today. I'm like, bro, I just shot 88.
Yeah, but that's yeah.
But and Nate is doing this for the championship tees though.
There we go.
I feel like around these pro golfers, it's like, dude, this guy. I feel like I could have beat some influencers, bro. So that's why I'm like, I'm not that good.
I think with Nate, it's just the mental. Like if I was on Nate's bag, I think Nate would get a lot done because I'm not gonna make Nate think about golf. And that's kind of when I caddied for Nicole last year at the Carlisle Classic. That's kind of what me and Nicole was doing. We're talking about Taylor Swift, Disney movies, like, and then be sometimes it's like, hey, what was that shot I hit on hole 8? Oh, well, the wind was off the right. You use your gap wedge and like stuff like that. But like me and Nicole would just talk about anything but golf. And I think if I was on Nate's bag and we did that, he wouldn't overthink it. And then Nate also is stubborn because Nate is a draw hitter. And he's always just trying to hit fades. I'm like, for what?
Hey. I want to control the golf ball around the green. You know what I'm saying? Like
Nate does this off the tee.
Fair point.
I'm not trying to hear that, man. But no, that's great. So one thing I do want to get into since we have you here, and I would definitely love to hear your take on this. For the listeners, we will get into the Ford Championship, breaking down the Ford Championship. We just don't want to take up too much of your time, Annabelle. Our faith portion today was how do you deal with fear as a Christian, if that's in competition, that's in life. We'd love to know what type of biblical reliances or practices you do to deal with fear.
That's so interesting that you bring that up because recently in the last 3 events, something that I've been really working on is I've just the phrase having no fear has been consistent in my head. And that's just when it comes to my play, I'm a very aggressive player. So anytime that I start to get nervous or it's coming down to the wire, I'm like close to the cut line, I start to get like almost a little, I back off, I slow down my swing, I try and control it a little more. And this year I've just been really trying to be like, no fear, keep swinging aggressive, 100% confidence.
No fear,
and,
yes.
Because what is there to fear? I mean, it's like, it's again about the perspective. I'm like, why am I fearing something that is like, it just doesn't matter. If it goes in the water, it goes in the water and I'm going to drop one. But if it makes it on the green on a par 5 and 2 over water and I can have a putt for eagle, heck yeah. Like that's what we play this game for. Like the exciting moments like that.
No one remembers the guy that laid up, you know, that's what, or the girl that laid up. So
no one remembers that shot. And when you pull it off, you like your heart's racing a little bit, but it feels so good. Like it's those moments that it's like, okay, you know, I was a little bit nervous, but I pulled it off and it was so exciting. Yeah, just having no fear and knowing that, like, again, this is not my identity. God's in control, and like, why not just have fun with it, you know?
I love that. I think it's in Psalms 56:3. It says, "When I'm afraid, I put my trust in the Lord." And it's like, man, how often are we truly practicing that? I think a lot of times and I'll say myself, sometimes I put too much dependency on my work ethic to show for in this situation in my life, if it's on the golf course, on the football field. And it's like, why am I not ultimately putting my trust in the Lord to help me in this situation, right? I mean, he talks about also in 1 Peter 5, like if you can cast your worries, cast your anxiety, cast your fears on him because he cares for us. But why am I not using him? Like the Lord is essentially the best caddy to be dependent on in life. But I think at times, mainly I'm saying myself, I won't speak for everybody, like we lack practicing that. And that's one thing I'm trying to do better at when it comes to like, things that I'm fearful in my life. Like if we just keep it down to obviously golf, I've been trying to do what Paul says also in Philippians 4:8 when he talks about think whatever is pure, think whatever is commendable. And I'm trying to go into each shot with that type of confidence, thinking about what's pure, what's commendable. Like I've hit this shot before. The Lord has been with me this shot. I'm going to take that into this, as opposed to like, dang dog, like I got this bunker and the short side green. I'm scared I might blade it.
Yeah.
Why am I doing that? And one thing for me as well as what I try to do is in Romans 10:17, it says, faith comes by hearing by the word of God. So I try to recite these verses out loud. And I'm not making it a plug like to watch my channel, but like if you've ever seen me play golf on my channel, you hear me talking to myself all the time.
Self-talk, yeah.
All the time. Like, all right, this is a 105 shot. I like my gap wedge. This is one of my favorite distance. Like I say stuff like that going to each shot. It doesn't always work out, but I want to be able to control what I can control going to each shot. And I also want to make sure like that's applicable to like just my real life. I mean, there are things that I'm in fear of with transitioning out of football. I've been out of football for now 6 years and just trying to find my lane into a desire the Lord has put on my heart. And our pastor talked about it today. I believe it's Ephesians 3:20, how the Lord can give you far more abundantly than anything you can ask for. However, I'm so consumed with this fear of like, oh, what if this doesn't work out? And we're such finite humans, like we can't see the end and he can. So it's just so much practicing I'm trying to do when dealing with fear, both in sport and out of sport. And I'm just hoping to see the fruits in it. And I think my issue too is I have I'm not patient in the fear season, in the waiting season. It's like, all right, you're gonna put me through the season, all right, like just put me through this thing for like a week. Or if the challenge is difficult, it's like I'd rather have a sprained ankle as opposed to reconstructive surgery. Like I don't want challenges that deep. And if they do come to that, man, I really want to have a dependency on the Lord. And I don't want to just be preaching it because it sounds good on a Christian golf podcast, but like it's something I genuinely, because that's what I was really thinking about at church. Like when I proclaim the word and I'm saying this stuff, like am I saying it because like it's inspirational to the audience, or like am I actually like practicing this too? So I kind of went long there, but like that, like Nate, when I said this was gonna be our topic, like that was on my heart heavy last night, bro. And I'm just like, I do believe the Lord can give us far more abundant than we ask for, but it's just like, how's my relationship with him in the fearful season? Like, how do I deal with this? And those are some of the practices I'm trying to walk out myself as opposed to just proclaiming it to the audience. But Nate, my bad. I would love to hear your take too on like how you deal with fear as a believer, or maybe we don't do a good job at it, like, and we just whatever that may be. Yeah.
No, I love what you said. I like when you share what's on your heart and stuff like that. So, no, but I think go off what like Annabelle said. Like when I'm also an aggressive player, because I feel like with my irons, at least with my irons, like I'm like C pin, attack pin, even though everyone says it's unwise. But so I was also like no fear, and every once in a while, like if I kind of have like the yips more or less going in the tournament, what I used to do is I used to write down verses on my glove, like right here on my glove, so I can like see it when I like set up, and I would just write down the number. So I would just write down like, so when it comes to fear, I write down 4:18 because 1 John 4:18 is like perfect love casts out fear. And I would try to think about like the people I love or the people that love me and have supported me to kind of get my mind off the fear, if you will. But that was kind of my main anecdote I was going to go with today. But I wanted to say at church, we talked about a little tangential here, but
he always does.
We talked about no. At church, I just thought this was really good. And I'm like, I gotta share
Go ahead,
this.
Bro.
So,
spit. Yeah.
But we talked about like sexual immorality and like how like with sexual sin, there's always like shame. And then our pastor's like, well, don't you think Jesus had shame when he was getting crucified? He got crucified in the most shameful way, and he died the most shameful way. So he took your shame onto the cross, and he said something like that. And I was like, that's applicable to fear. Like, don't you think he was afraid when he was in the garden? Like, I don't want this route.
Yeah, I don't want to drink out of this cup.
And it kind of goes off what you were saying earlier, Jeremy. Was like, just take this cup from me if this isn't what you want from me, Lord. But it's like, Jesus took that to the cross, and he died for that, and he died with that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if we can put our fear and our shame on him, we would play the most free golf. We would play the most aggressive golf. I don't know. That's just my little nugget, if you will.
Yeah. And what he's referencing from what I said earlier, Annabelle, it wasn't necessarily this podcast, is so like I said, I'm a football guy who's trying to get into like women's golf media. And I've had this prayer with the Lord, like, Lord, if this is not, like, rip this desire for me if this is not for me. But I was referencing Psalms 37:4, which says, delight in the Lord, he gives desires of your heart. And the more I delight in the Lord, he keeps giving me this desire. And I just have this fear like, man, maybe nobody will accept me in women's golf media. Or I've had moments, truth be told, where I'll have like some type of meeting with like a golf outlet or something like that, and they'll disqualify me because the word gospel's in my name. So then that's where like the fear comes in and stuff like that. It's just like, Lord, I need you to make a way. But then I'm happy my pastor spoke about Ephesians 3:20 today. Like, he can do far more abundant anything you ask for. And that's why I'm super excited for the event tomorrow with the LPGA with Roseanne, Haley Cooper, and Gina Kim and Paul Rito. Cool. I'm so excited for that, bro. But in terms of like just golf media in itself, like I really just want to be able to, I don't know, write for women's golf, or maybe be behind a booth, or just like on something with it, because I have too much passion for it. And I don't think the Lord would tease me with that for like a season. And I literally asked him, like, if you literally do not want me doing this, like, take it from me, because I don't want to waste time. And every time I'm sitting there watching the LPGA, I'm watching who won the NXX2. I'm figuring like, okay, all right, Annabelle's in T2 right now, but I see Riley Rennell, she's right there. And I'm so locked in, and like I literally enjoy doing it. And I just had this fear like, man, what if I'm wasting time trying to get into this and stuff like that, and just trying to do those practices even in this season of fear as well. But I want to leave us with one last verse, at least while Annabelle's on, before me and Nate break down the forward. My pastor also concluded with, which sometimes I get fearful, maybe that's contradicting, when I read these passages, because I'm just like, I don't feel like being tested with this passage, bro. Like, why you bring this up? Because I feel like sometimes it works like that. But he brought up Habakkuk 3:17-18. It says, though the fig tree should not blossom, nor fruit be on the vines, the produce of the olive fail, and the fields yield no food, the flock be cut off from the fold, and there be no herd in the stalls, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will take joy in God my salvation. So for this homie, even though things were like terrible, bro, like fig tree not blossoming, olive failing, no food, like he still chose to like rejoice in the Lord, even through failure. And as I'm reading, I'm just like, I don't want to go through that, but I have to walk that out big time. But Annabelle, do you have any closing remarks? Because like we don't want to take up your time, because me and Nate nerd out about golf for the longest.
No, I mean, not really. Thank you again for having me. It's just so great. I love what y'all are doing. I mean, I think this is there's a lot of opportunity here. So I think what y'all are doing is so awesome. And thank you for just your interest in women's golf, because there's not a lot. So
yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah,
And
it's a lot.
Yeah, definitely going to be rooting you on as you go to California first, and then I look forward to seeing you at the Carlisle Classic for the major on the Epson Tour.
Yeah. Good luck at the U.S. Open qualifier and all that.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Where's it at this year? I don't even know yet.
The U.S. Open? Yeah, I should know that.
Well, the qualifier.
I'm
I think
honestly so focused on the qualifier.
That's all right.
No,
one step at a time.
Dang. They said it during the PGA tournament. This is where the Women's U.S. Open is. I can't remember. Oh my gosh. They said
it was Aaron Hill's last year, which was...
I think that's what I'm thinking of, but that's not this year.
No. We'll figure it out. We won't hold much time. But I remember they saying it during the PGA tournament.
I'll tell you hopefully when I qualify.
When you qualify.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes,
you got it.
Look forward to seeing that. Absolutely, man. Appreciate you, Annabelle.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Thanks.
Again, guys, Annabelle Pancake Webb. Awesome person. Got to meet her during the Tour Championship at the Indian Wells Golf Resort with the Epson Tour. Her and again the homie Tali Latoy took over and won the first Content Creator Showdown. I'm hoping that's an event that I'm doing every year with the Epson Tour. Thoroughly enjoyed it.